Facebook is guess you could say, yearbook for your entire life. That's what social media is really becoming. And I've had so many different, um, I wouldn't even know what to call it. So many different interactions with people that goes through this wide gamut of meeting and knowing hundreds of thousands of people like every decade. If I think about it, right, even as a youth, every decade I have met or interacted with somewhere close to 100,000 people. Like being in a church world, then uh, I it slowed down during my teenage years because I was mostly mostly around people that I knew in high school, which were a few thousand people. Then the different road trips or the church trips that I was still going on, you get to a few more thousand. So maybe in the tens of thousands in my teenage years. And when I became a bouncer and playing semi-pro football, that's the my early 20s. There were maybe I would interact with like 5 to 6 thousand people per night. Then going into my fight career, meeting people, meet and greets, and uh, different people that I trained with, and that was hundreds of thousands of people just shaking hands, saying hi, people knowing who I am, people interacting with me, people sending me messages on MySpace and eventually Facebook. Then where I'm at now is fairly secluded. I have my uh, people that I do life with, and uh, the people that I interact with, like you, the people I interact with online, whether it's through YouTube, Instagram, Tickety Talk, or any other social media platform that I actually interact with. Oh, and X, whatever you're supposed to say or call that. I I'm more on the downturn of all those people that I interact with. But I believe, well, no, I assume that my impact on people now are a lot more than way back when. Like now with things, I wonder if I'm impacting someone's life, and did I make them feel a certain way? Am I being a good example of me? Because every day is different. You interact with people, and maybe you might not be in the best of mood, or you have some other things going on in the brain to where you may not be at your 100%. And was I being a good steward of people's time? Was I open and receptive enough if they needed to talk, or they had a question, or they just wanted to say hi? Was I good enough in that moment for them? What type of uh, what type of experience that did I give them? Like, what did what did I change in their life? What type of role did I play in the story of their life? Even if they got to spend just a minute with me, was it meaningful? Did it impact them? Could I have done better? Always hypercritical about myself, especially while building the Full Metal Fight Club. We got more and more people coming out, especially a lot of little children that are coming to learn from me and building up this program, trying to share my knowledge over the decades on how to do this one specific thing. And I'm not one that takes compliments well or people talking about me because I don't necessarily talk about myself except for if it's trying to show something or prove a point or get some type of message across. I really don't like to talk about myself. But I always wondered what people actually thought about me, especially if I've impacted their life some type of way. Like, I have people that I've helped people to become US citizens. I've helped people find their careers. I've helped people find the loves of their life. I don't talk to any of those people anymore, but I wonder what the story is in their mind of what part I've played in their life. I've loved a lot. I've been in quite a few relationships that not always ended well. Well, I can't even say that because I was fairly close with a lot of my exes where we just went in different directions, or they just weren't for me, or their mindset wasn't what I wanted, or they didn't do this or they didn't do that, so I chose otherwise. And it was never something to uh, where it was really a bad breakup. Well, except for one. One, it was a really bad breakup because I I had big feelings. I don't know if they did. Well, I don't know if she did. Was I just a rebound for her and things were getting too serious too fast? Or I don't know. I would wonder what her story about me is, or for this female, what that story is, or the people that I met on various church trips, if they even remember me, or if I was just a little blip in their life. The me driving around the East Coast, meeting different people, interacting with different people. Am I even a thought anymore? How long does it take for somebody not to exist in somebody else's memory or in somebody else's story? Or were you so impactful that that's all that they think about? I wonder that. There are still some people that I think about to this day that I was really, really, really close with, but no longer talk to. There are some that reached out to me recently that we would butt heads from time to time, but there's a long history and popping up in each other's lives at different stages of each other's lives, to where it's like, oh, well, there should be a lot more respect granted to that relationship. And maybe I'm not upholding that end of respect, or they're not respecting my time because of their mindset. Should I just forego all of that? But if you forego all of that, what type of stress is that putting on me? I'm already busy, ridiculously busy as it is. Should I invest that time in that relationship, or should I just leave that in the past? And that's a little blip in history that from time to time I can remember. Something interesting happened earlier this week. My little sister, which I don't know if she's taller than me, I haven't seen her in many years, but my little sister, she's kind of tall. She out of nowhere sent me pictures of her and I when she's like we would take family pictures and things like that. You know those JC Penney specials or Sears or what? No, actually, we never did that at our church. They had a photographer come in, or maybe it was somebody from our church at St. Paul AME Church in East Orange, New Jersey, that would come in and take family pictures. So she sent me a few of our pictures together throughout the years, from her as a baby, toddler, and a girl. And there was no message behind it. And it made me think, well, since we don't talk because of the different mindsets and interactions where it is not, I deem it not being worth my time because I am pouring into someone that is not receiving the message, education, and wisdom that I'm passing on to them, and they just want to do their own thing, or they want to think their own way, or not be logical. They just want to be emotional. So I just put my hands up and walk away. That has happened in many relationships. But that one with my sister is very interesting because there was no message behind that. Was I to think, oh, I'm thinking about you? Is that what she was trying to say? Or was she trying to say, well, you love pictures and photography and all this other stuff. I happen to find these. Maybe you want to see them. Or is it, I'm hurting inside. Will you call me? Will you reach out? I don't know. There was no message behind it. But I wonder the impact that I had on her. What is playing out in her mind about how she feels about me? A crew that I was close with in high school, because of one of the people that I talked about earlier, none of us talk anymore. Maybe everybody just decided to go their own separate ways. I know that in a lot of different groups and groups of people that were friendly, I was the glue. And if I did not be that glue, no one would talk. Then when I stopped being the glue, everyone stopped talking more and more. So is it my fault that everybody stopped talking? Or Was that time over already? Were we supposed to end that? That wasn't supposed to be forever like we said that it was supposed to be. Maybe we're just supposed to be for that moment and just move forward. Are the stories and memories that are in my head that are in your head somewhat different? Maybe that's all that it was supposed to be. But I sometimes wonder, I wonder what part did I play in their story that still sticks with them to this day? That's anyone. Hopefully, I'm being a good example, or I was a good example for them that they needed for that moment. And their memory of me will be a positive one. Maybe they tell their children about me, or they meet some random stranger on the street and then tell that random stranger is like, "Oh, you remind me of JA." Like, who's JA? Oh, well, somebody that I used to know. It's like, oh, well, hopefully that's a good thing. Maybe if I remind you of that person, that must be a really good person. But we haven't talked. I haven't tried to reach out. I've been busy. Maybe they're sitting by the phone waiting for me to call or send a text message or a DM on one of the social media platforms. Or maybe they blocked me. I don't know because I don't see anything from them. Maybe I'm on the outskirts. Maybe I did something that completely pissed them off and I was the one ostracized. I don't know. I highly doubt it because I always own up to my stuff and I stay consistent wherever I go and whatever I do. But the track record for everyone is kind of different. What they're consistent at now is definitely not what uh, they definitely didn't have any consistency back then. But who am I to talk? I was a different person. I've grown, I've strived on leading by example and being the person that I needed to be, not only for whoever I was in front of, but for myself, my family, my children, and so on. So I just wonder. It's a lot of people that were really impactful in my life that I don't talk to anymore. A lot of mentors that taught me what I needed to do to get over this little hurdle. We would keep in touch for a time or two, but then that was it. So I wonder. Maybe I keep wondering. Or maybe they see this, they reach out, and then things get reset. I don't know. Y'all have a blessed one. Shalom.